welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing a video on how I sleep train my baby. I don't really like the whole thing around sleep trained because you're not training them. They just don't know how to fall asleep on their own. It's hard for them after being so many months in your womb. Even for me, I've gotten used to sleeping next to my boyfriend every single night. And one night that he's not here because he's at work, I'm like an owl that I can't fall asleep until he gets here. And speaking about babies, I have this one here. Come here. Come here. Look, say hi.
Hi.
He has a little boy bun because I have no idea what to do with his hair. We want to cut it. But he has really thin hair like me, like I was saying, and it's just like hard to find a haircut that'll look good on him. So I want to make sure that his first haircut is right. It's not like a botched haircut. So we had a very hard time when it came to sleeping when he was born. Noah did not sleep until maybe 10 or 11 months throughout the entire night. And that was so hard on me. Being a mother is hard, and on top of that, putting that you're sleep deprived is like on a whole other level. We would struggle putting him down to sleep. It would be around 8:30 or 9, the latest, when we would put him to bed, and it would be screaming and screaming and screaming. My boyfriend like refused to let him cry, but on those nights that he wasn't home, which was most of the nights, I would read everything, leave them for 5 minutes, leave them for 10 minutes, 15, like in intervals, and none of that worked, unfortunately. And when my boyfriend was here, he would not let him cry for a second. So I think that all of that inconsistencies had a lot to do with it. By 10 months, we were both on the same page. We couldn't sleep at night, and we knew that we had to do something. We were over like not being able to sleep. He was extremely cranky, and we were cranky. We were constantly fighting with each other. And once he was able to finally sleep through the night, all of that changed. The first thing that we did was he was still sleeping 3 times a day. And of course, by nighttime, he wasn't sleeping anymore. So we cut down his naps to 2 a day. So 1, we cut down a nap. The next thing we did was be consistent with the cry it out method. I know it's like so sad to hear your baby cry. But if they're sleep deprived and they're fighting it so much, then I don't know what else to do. We went 10 months, almost 11, and we couldn't get him to sleep by himself. He was still in his little swing at like 8 months. And I told my boyfriend, I have to take this thing down because if I don't, we are still going to be putting him in there to go to sleep. So that was another thing we did. We took out the swings, we took out the bouncers. There was none of that. It was strictly him and his crib. Because every time he cried at night, he would come into bed. Because my boyfriend wouldn't want to hear him crying. He would feel bad for the neighbors. And I would just tell him, like, it's a baby. Babies cry, and the neighbors have to get over it. Some might think that I'm being harsh, but it was, like, impossible for the 3 of us to go to sleep. So something drastic had to be done, in my opinion. At 10 months old, he was still eating through the night, and it was just insane to me. I think that was the main reason why we were waking up, just to feed him. But it was once at night around 10 months. So we cut that off. I told him, we can't do this anymore. We need to sleep. No more milk. So we stopped doing that. And he was completely fine. The first few nights, it was a little rough. He would cry a lot. He wouldn't cry a lot. He would cry for like 5 minutes, check, because he sleeps in the same room as us, but in his crib. He would just get up, see if we would wake up whenever he would start crying, and we would just like stay still, not move, but we would watch him. And he would just lay back down after about 5 minutes of crying. So that lasted about 2 to 3 nights. And that was the biggest thing for us, not feeding him at night. And around 11 months, I switched him to whole milk. So he was having his full meals and snacks, drinking whole milk. And I think that was holding him up a little more. But my biggest point here is to just be consistent with your partner. If you have a partner, be consistent. If they're there with you at night, make sure you're both on the same page. I know it's so hard. We all have different opinions on how babies should go to sleep, on how to help them go to sleep. Some parents want to carry them all night long. My boyfriend's nephew was carried to sleep every single night, and I promised myself that I would not have that happen. He would have his parents carry him, walk around for maybe 2 hours until he would fall asleep. This went on until he was maybe 5 years old. I just found it ridiculous. There's no way that I can do that. Especially carrying a big kid, like they should be sleeping on their own by that time. So now our routine at night, he eats, he showers, we put his PJs, his body lotion, I put him in his crib, I turn on a little projector and a ocean sound. I turn on his monitor so we can watch him, and I just give him a kiss. I give him his little Mickey Mouse. He hugs a little Mickey Mouse at night, and a little duck. So he hugs those two things and we walk away and he falls asleep. But lately I think he's been going through sleep regression. So you also have to remember that you're going to have stages when they just do not want to sleep, or when they're going through a developmental phase, when they're learning how to walk, when they're learning how to eat on their own or hold a bottle. That will disrupt their sleep, and that happened to him every single time something happened. He wasn't sleeping at night. Like now he's starting to speak a lot more and putting words together, and he just started walking like 2 months ago. And now, like the past 2 nights, he's been screaming all night long. He wants to be in bed with us, which is becoming a habit again. For the past 2 nights, he's been in our bed. But tonight, we're going to have to do our method again of letting him cry for a few minutes in his crib and see how that goes. I know a lot of people are against that, and I totally respect that. Every child is different. Every parent is different. But that's just what worked with us. Like, my boyfriend was 100% against letting him cry at night. He felt so bad. Like, he wouldn't even cry for 2 minutes before he was over there getting him. So we're all different, but we just have to try different ways to see what works best. This was my short little video on how we got this little guy to sleep at night. You see he's a little cranky right now. I think he's teething right now. That's why he might be a little cranky, but we'll see. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.